people in the world, whether you're of it or in it, whether you're a Christian or not, atheist or not, there are people out there that get very upset when you try to ask them personal questions, or say if the government or say the police want to look at your phone, even if they have a warrant. People in their hearts or even with their mouths will say they don't have a right to my privacy and go off the deep end with that. But what people are so blind to is that every moment and every word and every step that they make is recorded and is seen by God. Even the angels of the Lord record everything that you do. Not saying that God isn't watching, because he's always watching. He's omnipresent. He also has angels recording every word you say, and records every word that just records everything. And they report back to the Lord and all this stuff. And when the end of the age comes, you guys, there's going to be that time period where everyone's going to have to give an account for every word and every deed that they have done that is good or is bad. And one time I have thought something that I have thought of even myself, just I guess you can say a parable, where you can see these a group of women, just immodest women, who have certain slang in their tongues, and they want to try and say that God is wrong, and then they try to bring their gang of girls or the group of girls and say, these girls, these are my girls, they know what's up, they know the truth. And then on that day of judgment, you see the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords in great emdazzlement and in terror, his glory mixed in with his anger, burning and full of fire and fury that no one has ever seen, explodes right in front of them, and actually in front of everyone. That makes everybody fall on their face down in terror, because the Lord is showing his not even a fraction of his wrath, and telling them that I am that I am, and I am God who sees all things, and I am the one that decides all things and has made all things. And what people can even, and I would hope that this makes you think for a second of who God really is. He doesn't care if you have people that can back up your claim. He does not care about that. He doesn't care that a security footage saw something. It's also what he sees is your heart. If your heart is good before him, then you are of his sheep. But if your heart is bad, and I'm talking about sin bad, then you're not of his sheep. So people can complain all they want when their privacy gets invaded, or they get mad and they take people to court. Like, for example, today I got a email from, I guess from not a lawyer, but, or maybe, I don't know, I can care less, involving a settlement with Apple, where there's a settlement that Apple's giving out $95 million in settlements for those who have devices that obtain Siri, which my phone is an iPhone, and I just got a new phone, but that's besides the point. And you may, from this time frame from 2014 to as of last year in December of 2024, and equivalently for every device that you have that is iPhone or Apple owned, you get $20, guys, $20. And I just thought to myself, Like, there's no, like, if you're somebody who is really into this stuff and who's really wanting privacy, are you really willing to just, out of your own heart, full of arrogance and pride, go out of your way to go against a company, and then for everyone to equal it out, for you to get $20? Are you serious? And I'll just put this in there. This iPhone, $20. This Apple Watch, $20. So yeah, adds up to $40. And then I have an iPad. I think it's a 2020 version of it. Also $20. And then I have an Apple SE that replaced this one, another $20. And it's just, and I just, like, I like, and you guys see me laughing. I'm just sarcastically laughing at the fact that, like, that's like 20, 40, 60, 80. That's $80 that I could personally get for myself, but it wouldn't be worth it, you guys, because all that money is just going to be spent on what? Groceries and all this stuff. It's not worth it, you guys. If you're trying to, and I'm just going to say this as a rebuke included in this video, if you're somebody who is going to go out of their way to get $20 for each Apple device that has Siri, then you're really fooling yourself and making yourself look like a fool for just $20, just to get $20, you guys. Judas Iscariot realized that he betrayed Jesus for silver that he had, and that would have been equivalent to the US dollar $600 to $800, depending on what kind of silver it was. And basically, he realized that it was not not only was it not worth it that he did, but he betrayed the one who is God, who would have forgave him, but instead took his own life because he was so ashamed, and the demon of condemnation struck this man's heart. So this video is kind of a mix of a bunch of things I'm just adding in because I wasn't planning on making this video, but to just to bluntly put it, you guys, it is beyond not worth it. Like yes, you're gonna have people that are gonna expose you, and I've been one of those people that have been exposed with certain things that were not appropriate that I've done in my past. So I've been through that before. But here's the truth, you guys. All are going to be exposed before the throne of God. Even conspiracy theories that end up being found out is true. It's not even worth trying to wait till you get to heaven and just think, oh, now I finally get to know if this is a conspiracy theory or not, or if this conspiracy theory is true or not, and then finding out later on in the day, or however that works on the day of judgment, you get told, depart from me, I never knew you. Wasting your whole life away just so you can try and find out this little knickknack of a conspiracy theory that's not even worth your life and should not even be worth your time. Like, the thing is, you guys, is people are so worried about their privacy being exposed, but yet they're not worried about that God watches their every move. Now, there are certain things like bank statements that you don't want to just give out to just some random person, because then you can have fraud happens, or you give out your credit card, or like just fraudulent stuff. Now that you don't want to just give out to just someone unless you trust that someone to properly do money right, but that's besides the point. You realize that everything you do is recorded. Every sin you commit, even within your heart, is recorded and is seen by God. So here's the thing. Quit complaining about that oh, the police department's wanting to look at my information. I don't give consent even though they have a warrant. No, it does not matter. God's already knowing about all things. And if you have a active heart or an action body that rejects privacy like this, then it's like, come on, man. It's like you're going to be before the Lord before you know it. Now, like I said formerly, or just earlier, bank statements, you shouldn't be going into fraudulent stuff. That's obviously not of God. And also, you shouldn't be finagling between a husband and a wife during their private time, because that's between a man and a woman, obviously, who is married, of course. And you don't want to intrude in their business, because there are things that are meant to be kind of, private between people. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Because if it's done out of harassment to try and to invade their privacy, then obviously God looks at that as not okay, of course. But there are things that God does allow to be exposed while you are alive. This has happened to me before, and a lot of them were not appropriate at all. And for the benefit of it, what they intended for evil, God intended it for good, because I don't commit that anymore. And it was all evil what I did in my past that was very vile and wicked, that even those of this world would even consider as, that's just evil. But what also people need to realize is that they need to look at themselves in the mirror and realize, well, what am I doing that's wrong? Because pride can easily creep in and think, I have done nothing wrong. But then the Spirit of God tells you, well, what about you smoking marijuana and then smoking, vaping? What about your sex outside of the marriage bed with this woman and then that woman? What about that? So those are the things that you need to be looking at yourself, because if God can make you think, or actually He will tell you directly by His Spirit that you're in the wrong of something, He'll make it known to you. And He does not care about your privacy. He will just straight up just come up to you and say, Nick, or whoever, you need to repent of da-da-da-da-da, or whatever your sin problem may possibly be. To more just say it all, don't try to be somebody who is concerned about or having the fear of having your personal info. And I'm talking about miscuous things and sin problems. I'm not talking about like bank statements or relational business that people have no business to intrude in. Because if you're fearful about those types of business of people's information coming out, then basically what I'm getting at, you guys, is, and forgive me if I'm like slow talking, I'm kind of hungry right now, but that's just besides the point. What I'm getting at is, if you're worried about people knowing about your business that is sinful, then you've got a major problem before the throne of God on the day of judgment, because then you have, like I said, even a bigger problem before your hands that you're going to have to deal with. So that is all I have this message today. So don't be don't have a sinful heart before God thinking, oh, well, this private info is never going to get out no matter how much I pay someone. And then going before the throne of God, that info just comes out, because it comes out because you will have to give an account for every word and every good word and every bad word that comes out of your mouth, or literally anything that is good or evil, you will have to give an account to. May Jesus bless you.